welcome back to Cooking with Mimi. And today on Cooking with Mimi, we are going to make a comfort food. I'm going to make a chicken pot pie. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and it's the perfect comfort food during quarantine. Alright, so first I have the start of the dish, which is chicken. I use 6 pieces of chicken thighs, boneless chicken thighs. You could use chicken breast if you prefer, and I cut it up in cubes. I have 4 medium potatoes cut up in cubes, 1 medium onion chopped up, 2 carrots chopped up, medium sized carrots. I used 1 stalk of celery, chop that up, very tiny. I have 1 cup of heavy cream. I have 2 cups of water, but we might not need to use the whole thing. It's just till we get like the consistency we need. I have 3 tablespoons of Haitian épicé, which is totally optional. I have black pepper, 1 stick of butter, a tablespoon of parsley flakes, a teaspoon of Lawry's seasoning, a teaspoon of total seasoning, and a teaspoon of Goya, 3 tablespoons of flour, and what's gonna make the pie part is biscuits, like a can of biscuits, and it's also easier and less hassle. Now let's get started with seasoning our chicken first. Alright guys, so first I'm going to add my épicé, which is completely optional. I have total seasoning, I'm going to add that. My Lawry's seasoning, or you can use any seasoning salt. And my Goya adobo. Some cracked black pepper. About a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. Just give it a mix. If you want, you can let this marinate for about 30 minutes, or you can cook it right away. Alright, nicely seasoned. So I basically prefer to let this marinate for about 20 to 30 minutes, so I'm gonna let this marinate a little bit and I'll be back. Alright guys, so here I'm using an iron skillet. If you guys have an iron skillet, I strongly suggest that you use that. It's perfect to make everything in one pot. I added about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to my pan. Okay? And you want your heat on medium. Now you're going to add your chicken. Spread it out, and then you're going to cook the chicken until it's no longer heat. So you're going to leave it spread out on one side for about 3 to 5 minutes. And then you're just going to flip it over and cook the other side for about 3 to 5 minutes as well. Alright guys, now that your chicken is cooked, we're gonna lower our heat to low and then put it back in your bowl. You want to collect all of that seasoning. Put that right back in your bowl and then set it aside. Now you see this delicious goodness in the bottom of your pan? You're gonna leave that in there. Now you add your 1 stick of butter to your pan. We are going to make a roux. So you gotta let your butter melt a little bit. as your butter is melting, try to scrape up those delicious drippings. Okay, now that your butter is melted, you're going to sprinkle in your flour and start stirring it, making that delicious roux. If you see any lumps, use the back of the wooden spoon to break it down. You want to stir it. And what you're looking for is a nice caramel color. Okay, now once you have your caramel color, you can see it, you're going to add your onions. Stir that in. Add your carrots. And add your celery. And guys, by any means, if you don't want to use celery, you don't have to. You can substitute the celery for peas. But I prefer to add celery, and I find that it adds a nice flavor to my chicken pot pie as well. So I prefer to use celery. But if you want to use green peas, that's totally fine as well. Or you can use both. So I'm going to stir this. And I'm just going to cook it until the onions become translucent. And you're just going to keep stirring it and cooking it until your onions become completely translucent. Okay? Mine is practically getting there. Now that my onions are translucent, you want to add your water a little bit at a time, so you can combine the flour, get that thickness, just a little at a time. What happens is if you add too much water at a time, it becomes a huge clump and it's hard to work with. So we add a little at a time, make sure our flour is thickening and combining nicely. Look at that. It's nice and thick. This is what we want, guys. Smelling amazing. So far, I added about 1.5 cups of water, and I'm just seeing if that is all I want to work with, keeping in mind that I do have my heavy cream, potatoes, and chicken to add. It turns out that 1.5 cups of water does work for me. And now I'm going to add my potatoes. And I did not want to chop up my potatoes too big. I found that this size works best for me. It's about 1/2 inch. Stir that in. And you want those potatoes to be cooked thoroughly. Alright guys, and guys, you want to make sure that you are stirring occasionally because you don't want anything to stick to the bottom of your pan. But my potatoes are starting to become translucent. Now I'm going to show you how I roll out my dough, prep that, and have it ready on the side to put it on top. And preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Alright guys, so now I'm going to open up my can of biscuits, and on the side here I have about some flour so it doesn't stick. And if you guys want, by any means, you can make your own pie crust or biscuits, but this kind of makes it easier. Alright guys, so here I have my biscuits. I'm gonna take one at a time, sprinkle a little flour my cutting board, take my rolling pin, sprinkle a little bit on top, pat it out, and I basically just roll it. Not too much, I don't go crazy with it. Just until it's about this flat, okay? Lay it on my plate. And as you're doing this, make sure you are keeping an eye on your potatoes and you are stirring as needed. Alright, and we're done. We have our biscuits rolled out. Our potatoes have been cooking for about 15 minutes and we can get started to the next step. Alright guys, at this point it has been cooking for about 15 minutes. Like I said, have your chicken ready on the side. Just gonna give it a stir. Make sure nothing isn't sticking to the bottom. Now you add your chicken back into the pot with all of that delicious juice. OMG. Okay. And stir that in. This is a lot of chicken, but the more the merrier. Now that I added my chicken, I'm going to add my heavy cream and mix that in. You want this to be well mixed, and the heavy cream is going to add some creaminess to it. Look at that. Next, you want to sprinkle in your parsley flakes. It adds this nice vibrant color and flavor as well. If you want, you can use fresh parsley. You can customize this however you like. But we want to mix this in well and cook this down for another 5 minutes before layering our biscuits and popping it into the oven. Alright guys, so now we can start layering our biscuit. Look at that, you turn off your heat. It's been cooking for a total of 25 minutes. So I'll lay one on top here first and start laying them around. You want them overlapping each other. Alright, and we're always going to have that one extra piece. What you're going to do with the extra piece is basically fill in what is missing, like what didn't get covered. Now I am going to put this in the oven, the 375 degrees, for about 20 to 30 minutes until it's nice and golden brown. Alright guys, look at that. It came out the oven. It's nice and golden brown. I can't wait to dig in, so I'm going to show you what it looks like when I cut a piece. So come to the side. Ooh, hear that little crispiness. Just grab it with a spoon. Oh my gosh. Ooh, look at that. You don't want to leave anybody behind now, do we? Grab all of that. Oh. Now, look at this, guys. Like, who would want a piece of this? So good. I literally can't wait to dig in. Alright guys, with that being said, I am going to dig in. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what to make next down in the comments below.